Hello, my name's Tom the Tale Teller. You can find me here on Facebook as Tom the Tale Teller. You can find me on YouTube as Tom the Tale Teller Phillips. And I've been asked to tell a story for the fabulous Tag Team Tales. Now my story is one about some of my friends who I've got down here. First one is this. A lovely blue dog. It's actually my little boy's dog. And he's come along today. So he's going to help me out. And this is my daughter's. My lovely daughter's lovely pussycat. And lastly, but not least, the star of a very, very famous story. It's Mouse. Why, Mouse, hello. And they're going to help me tell my story. You see, have you ever wondered, my friends, have you ever wondered why dogs chase cats and why cats chase mice? Well, I just so happen to know why, and I will share the story with you today. And my story starts like all good stories start, with a once upon a time. And it starts in a kingdom long, long ago, far, far away, with a king who loves dogs. Dogs are his most best favourite animal in the world. In fact, they are so most best favourite animal in the world, he made a royal decree. He read it out on a long piece of parchment in front of the palace to the whole town and anyone who would listen. And it read, "From this day forward, all dogs, no matter what size, shape, colour or creed, whether they have a home or not, will be looked after. Stray dogs will be fed and watered. No harm shall come to a dog, and no dog catchers, by order of the crown." And he gave it to his servant, who took a huge brass nail, a big hammer, and whack, 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 secured it to the door of the palace. And on the bottom there was a small line that read, "This law stands as long as his paper is safe." Very important bit that, and you'll find out why in a minute. Well, the dogs were in the crowd. All the stray dogs that were round the feet of the people and round the legs, and they looked and they listened and they got very excited. You see, this meant that all dogs in the kingdom would be looked after. They were so excited that they ran and had a meeting. And they decided that they were going to have to keep this piece of paper safe. They could look after it, and then if anything happened to any dog ever, or a dog catcher came to town, they could get the piece of paper. Voila, they would be protected. And so the dogs went and got the piece of paper. And then they thought, they did not know where to keep it safe, but their friends, the cats, they knew. You see, cats are very sneaky, very, very cheeky, and cats knew all the best hiding places. And so they asked the cats and said, "Oh, please, can you help us? If you look after this paper for us, then we'll look after you. Any food that we get given, you could have." And the cats, they meowed and purred, and they thought about it, and they agreed. Okay. Then the cats, they sat around talking, and they thought about places to hide it, but nowhere seemed quite safe enough. And then they thought, what about our friends, the mice? And so they went to the mice, and they said, "Mice, meow. If you look after this piece of paper for us, the dogs will look after us and we'll look after you. How does that sound?" Well, the mice like this. "Oh, yes. And they took the piece of paper and off they ran. And you see, mice are really, really good at finding the tiny little holes, the nooks and the crannies that nobody knows about. And they took that piece of paper and they folded it up small, and they squidged it into the tiniest nook, into the smallest cranny they could find, and it was safe, and life was good. Dogs, fantastic life. Looking after the cats, brilliant life. Looking after the mice. And so it was, and by, until one night, when the moon was hidden by cloud, and the darkness lay like a thick blanket over the land, into the country came the dog catcher. This rough, tough old man, he pulled a cart, a giant cage on the back, and he had a little friend. Sat on his shoulder was a furry little menace with a long, scaly tail. A rat. And he said to the rat, "Right, my friend, I've heard there's this piece of paper. It's a royal decree protecting all of these doggos around here. But if you were to get it for me and destroy it no matter what, we could catch these dogs. There's hundreds of dogs, thousands of dogs, and we could take them far, far away and sell them and make lots of money." And so it was, the rat scurried off down his arm, down into the gutter, and disappeared. And that night, the dog catcher's rat searched every nook and every cranny, and if anything was just as good or better at finding a nook or cranny than a mouse, it is a rat, for they are far more sneaky. And it found that nook, that cranny where that piece of paper was folded up, and he opened it up and he read it, and it was the one. It had the royal seal. And do you know what it did, my friends? It ate it. Every last bit, until there was only a tiny scrap of the corner left on the floor. And it ran back to his master, and it sat on its shoulder, and he said to his master, he said, "Done, sire." "How did you get rid of that paper?" said the dog catcher. Said the rat. And that was enough for the dog catcher. And so the dog catcher set out. That night, he started catching dog after dog after dog, and the dogs would run around going, "No, no, cats, find that piece of paper." And the cats, they panicked. "Oh no, oh no, oh no," they shouted. "Oh, we need to find the mice." And they went to the mice and they said to the mice, "Please, please help us find that piece of paper." And the mice scurried off, "Of course, of course, of course, of course." And the mice went off back to that nook, that cranny, but all they found was that tiny scrap of paper. And their hearts sank. They panicked. What could they do other than tell the truth to the cats? And so they told the truth to the cats. "We're really, really sorry." Wow! Meow the cats. They could not believe it, you see. They could not believe they put all their trust in the mice, but they betrayed their trust. And so the cats had to go and tell the dogs. And well, the dogs, they were not happy. You see, without that piece of paper, they had to wait until the king could draw up another piece of paper, another proclamation, but by that point it was too late. A lot of the dog's friends had been caught, captured, taken in, and escorted from that land. And so it was. The dogs blamed the cats for losing that piece of parchment. The cats blamed the mice. And every time a dog sees a cat, even to this day, it blames it and chases after it, saying, "You lost it, you lost it, you lost it." The cat, every time it sees a mouse, does the same thing. "You lost it, you lost it, you lost it." And the poor mouse, well, he ends up bottom of the pile. And that, my friends, is why dogs chase cats and cats chase mice. And now you know. So if anyone asks you, you can sound very clever by telling them that story. Don't forget, check me out on Facebook, Tom the Tale Teller. Check me out on YouTube, Tom the Tale Teller Phillips. I'm there. There's lots of stories on there, and I'm uploading more and more and more. Thank you for Tag Team Tales for letting me do this and supplying you with a story. I'll be putting more on my YouTube channel as the days and weeks go by. When all this is over and we come out the other side, I'm available to hire schools, villages, fetes, fairs, festivals, WIs, weddings, bar mitzvahs, you name it. I'm a proper bobber job teller. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.